Okay, super long day. It's like 8:45 at night on Wednesday. I haven't recorded in like a couple of weeks. I'm a little behind. Things have just been like a lot going on, which has been good. Work has been very busy. I've been very busy. My kids have been very busy. And so, you know, recording videos just has not been on my list of priorities. I'm trying to not say I haven't had time for things, because we all have the same amount of time, right? We all have 24 hours in a day. It's just, what are we prioritizing in those 24 hours? And sitting down to record a video just has not been on my highest priority list. So, but we are here today with some bangs for fun. I don't know, we'll see. But I wanted to talk about how to develop better habits to take care of yourself. And I want to talk about this because I've been sharing, you know, my weight loss journey for the past like almost, oh gosh, 2 years now. Like April of 2021 was when I was really just like, okay, like enough is enough. You need to lose, you as in I need to lose some weight. Like it's time. And I think like a year ago I started sharing my fasting journey. So the first year I didn't share, I wasn't on here posting about that. But then I started alternate day fasting, and I just was really just kind of like not obsessed with it, but like very interested in the science behind it and my journey. And it seems like a lot of people like talking about that or hearing about it, so I was sharing that. But I wanted to tie that into like taking better care of yourself, because it's not just about the weight loss or the number on the scale, right? Like there's a bigger picture here. There's a bigger why behind you want to lose the weight, or at least there needs to be, in order for it to be sustainable and long-term, right? And so I'm an attorney, I own a law firm, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm all the things. And I opened my own law firm like 7 years ago. And since doing that, I spent a lot of time talking to other, you know, mainly lawyers who are also moms, who, you know, whether they have their own law firms or not, but just about like taking care of themselves and prioritizing themselves and figuring out how to juggle all the things, which has led me to my coaching journey and coaching lawyers who are moms. Again, it doesn't have to be someone who's a lawyer and a mom for me to work with them, but that's just where I come from and my place of empathy for them. So, but I've been doing coaching and really talking about our relationships with ourselves, which is usually always on the back burner. But we have to help ourselves to feel better and to reduce the negativity in our own lives. And a lot of times we create that negativity for ourselves, right? And so one thing that I focus a lot on is that somebody will come to me because they're having issues with their time management, with procrastination, but there's really like some other thoughts behind it. Like they're usually trying to avoid something. There's a fear of something, there's an anxiety about something, and so they avoid doing something. But we have to work on those negative thoughts and how to process them and to be with them. And that's what I really learned through intermittent fasting, is that I was turning to food to deal or to avoid dealing with negative emotions, right? And so when I was doing alternate day fasting, it forced me to actually have to think about and deal with the negative feelings that I was having, because I wasn't able to use food to deal with them or to avoid dealing with them, because I wasn't eating during my fasting windows. And I still do fasting. I love fasting. I love intermittent fasting. I have kind of, and I talked about this before, like I've kind of modified my fasting schedule just to kind of fit with my lifestyle, and I'm not trying to lose the weight that I was trying to lose before. So it's kind of changed. But one of the biggest takeaways from my intermittent fasting journey that I'm still on is that I can't make changes in my life from a place of hate. And same for you. And I would say that in prior attempts at losing weight, which were successful short term but not long term, that it always came from a place of hate. Like I couldn't have this, it was restrictive, these foods were bad, I was making bad decisions, I was bad for eating certain things. Like, you can't hate your way through weight loss. It's not going to be successful for you long term on the scale, and not for you mentally either. And so we have to develop healthy habits even when we're in a stressful environment. And these healthy habits are bigger than just food. Like healthy habits just in our day-to-day decisions and taking care of ourselves and those around us. And so, you know, we have to also be okay with knowing that we're going to have negative emotions, we're going to have negative feelings, and it's okay to have that, because life is 50-50. The world is 50-50. You don't have good without bad. You wouldn't know good without knowing bad. You wouldn't know what it meant to have a positive feeling if you didn't know what it meant to have a negative feeling, right? And so the type of negative feelings that we're dealing with sometimes, like stress and overwhelm and anxiety, like a lot of these things are time sucks, and they're also not helpful if we're on a weight loss journey or otherwise trying to improve ourselves. And a lot of this, at least for myself, I think for a lot of people also, they think of things as all or nothing, right? It's either it is or it isn't. There's no in between that we allow for ourselves. So like, if you're trying to, you know, always, if you think of yourself as a perfectionist, you probably have all or nothing thinking. If you make a mistake, if you slip up and your brain just is like, well, fuck it, forget it, you know, like, or like, if you're doing something great and then you have, you know, let's say with food, like let's say you have a food plan, let's say you're fasting, whatever you're doing, if you're trying to lose weight, like you're doing great, you have like, you know, 5 great days in a row, and then you have a day where you just blow it, right? And then you just say, fuck it. Like I've already blown it. So what's the point now? Like that's all or nothing thinking. And when you engage in like that type of mentality and are so hard on yourself, and I know I would do that all the time. So like I would call it fucking eating. Like if I messed up, I'd be like, fuck it. I've already messed up. So why am I going to try and do better now? But like, when you do that, you're really just saying like a big F you to yourself, like not anybody else. Like, and why would you talk to yourself that way? Why would you treat yourself that way? Why would you think that way about yourself? Like you have, you know, 5 great days in a row and you have one day where, you know, you weren't perfect. Like we're not meant to be perfect. Like we're human beings. We're not machines. We're not robots. Like we're not going to be perfect. Being consistent for a human is not 100%. That's not consistency. That's not achievable. Being consistent is showing up 70% of the time. Like that's real consistent for a real life person who has real things to deal with on a day-to-day basis. You've got your family, you've got your, you know, your work, you've got all the things going on. Like things are going to happen, but you just continue to power through. Even if you have a slip up, even if you have a bad day, even if you feel like you made, you know, a mistake, whether it's food or otherwise, like that's no reason to stop progressing forward. Because if we let it stop us, then we're just on this cycle, right? Of doing good and then doing bad, and then doing good and then doing bad. Like, and we're not getting anywhere. And that's what I would always do before, like with weight loss. And that's where intermittent fasting really helped me change my mindset and wrap my brain around these concepts that, you know, to deal with negative emotions, to deal with feelings, to be okay with having negative, you know, emotions or feelings, but still moving forward anyways. Still knowing that making the small steps is going to achieve the progress that you're looking for in the long term. Because when we have these thoughts that like, you know, oh, if I just lose 15 more pounds, then I'll be happy. If I just hit this, you know, number on the scale, then I'll be happy. That's not where the happiness comes from. The happiness has to come from within yourself, right? We have to learn to like ourselves, which has really been a journey that I've been on in the past 2 years or so as well, is like really coming to like myself. Because our brains, like our goals, like that we have for ourselves, our brains are always moving the goalpost. So you'll have a goal for yourself, you'll reach that goal, and it won't be enough for some reason. There will still be more that you want to do. It's always moving. The weight loss itself is never going to be enough if we don't clean up what we're thinking inside and how we think about ourselves, how we think about, you know, what's going on, how we think about the journey that we're on. We have to learn to like ourselves and know that we're enough. Like, you are you. You are 100% you. You are worthy. You are enough. And there's nothing that you can do to take away from that, no matter where you are in your journey. So what can you do? How can you develop better habits to take care of yourself? A lot of people talk about like self-care, and I agree with self-care. I agree with doing it, but just the term self-care sometimes just kind of comes off a little corny to me. Like, I don't love that term, but the thought of taking care of myself, like, okay, I'm on board with that. So I don't love the term self-care, but call it what you want. What can we do? How can we deal with reducing or eliminating this all or nothing thinking? How can we start taking small steps towards our goals? If I truly engaged in all or nothing thinking, I wouldn't have lost the 40 plus pounds that I've lost now in the past, I want to say year and a half, but I guess we're going on 2 years now. Like, I wouldn't have lost the 40 pounds because it didn't happen on a straight line down. It was like this, right? I'd lose some, gain a little bit, lose some, gain a little bit, lose some, gain a little bit. And every time I gained a little bit, I weigh in weekly. So if there's a week where I gained half a pound, like, old me would have been like, oh my gosh, why am I doing this? Why am I working so hard? I've gained half a pound. Just forget it. Like, forget all the work that I've done. Forget all the weight loss that I've had because I gained half a pound. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, why would I make this so hard for myself? Like, okay, if you gained half a pound, you know, where can you course correct? You know, where can you make better decisions? Or, you know what, maybe your body is just being a body, and maybe you're retaining extra fluid. Maybe, you know, I don't know, but like, we don't have to throw everything away because we gained half a pound, because we gained, especially if it's like, you know, 0.6, 0.8 or something like that. Like, I would really let that, like, I would beat myself up about that. And it has to stop. That has to stop. If you do that to yourself, just know that that is not helpful. Thinking like that's not going to get you towards your goal. And just know that that's just part of the journey. It's not going to be all the way down or like this. Like, that's not how weight loss works. We'll have some weeks where, you know, you might lose 2 or 3 pounds. Awesome. You might have a week where you gain half a pound. That's okay. That's not going to stop you. That's not going to deter you. That's not going to override all the work that you've done. All or nothing thinking, there's so many areas in our lives where we've been okay with the small steps. There's been so many successes that I've had in my life. I took a lot of small steps. The 40-pound plus weight loss, becoming a lawyer, that was a long journey. Opening my own law firm, that was a long journey, and that was a scary journey, but I still did it. I still did all these things that I'm really proud of. And I'm sure that there are things in your life that you have done that require a lot of small steps, and you still did it. So weight loss doesn't have to be any different. Taking care of yourself doesn't have to be any different. We're not going to be perfect at it. There's no such thing, so let that go. Claiming that you're not doing something because you want it to be perfect, whatever it is, work, personal, like, I feel like that's just a way to avoid putting yourself out there, right? That's a way to avoid or delay or to not have to embrace the fear you might have. Like, being perfect, being a perfectionist is just like, it's not going to get you to your goals. Waiting until something's perfect, you're never going to do the thing. Never. We're not looking for A+ work. We're not looking for 100%. I'm not even looking for an A or A-. B+ work is all we need, even a B. Whatever it is, weight loss, work, personal, like the consistency that we're looking for and that we need to achieve the results that we want in our life does not require 100% perfection. Absolutely not. I think that's where we start. That's where we start taking better care of ourselves. That's where we start developing better habits. That's where we start when we are trying to have a better relationship with ourselves. So, as I mentioned, I've been doing coaching, you know, for lawyers who are moms. It's kind of like what my website was designed for. But you might find something useful there, even if you're not a lawyer, even if you're not a mom. You don't have to be to visit the website and to maybe, you know, learn something or get more value. And so I will link that down below for the website and how to contact me if you might need help with this, if you're on your journey for whether it's weight loss, whether it's taking better care of yourself, whether it's for finding, you know, joy or happiness in your life or with work. Let me know. I'd be happy to chat with you and see if I can be of help to you. And I will see you in the next video. Have a good one.